mind.
Okay. Okay. Oh, fuck. Season 5 of Real Housewives of Orange County. The Poor Little Rich Girls. We are deep in the recession, folks. 2009 to 2010.
We're bailing out banks, but not these girls.
But not these ladies. Recession is in session, and there is no help. No golden parachute. No golden parachute from these golden-haired gals.
So they are down bad.
Down
and
bad.
By that we mean downsizing.
Yes. When we last left the girls, Vicky and Dawn were struggling in their marriage to fill Vicky's love tank. Gina and Vicky were having issues because Gina was having a hard time selling Vicky's house during the housing market crash, despite always having a tenant there who made all the mortgage payments, and Vicky's furious. Gina and her alcoholic husband Matt were separated, and Gretchen's fiance died, and Tamra accused her of cheating on him. Also, Lynn was in her Lynn world with her teenage daughters.
Was there.
Also Lynn. And then the big change that happened over the summer was that Gretchen's fiance, died. Died before the reunion, and now she is dating, guess who? Slade Smiley. From seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, who famously dated Joe, and they were all friends. Joe's none too pleased.
Oh, is she? Wait, I can't remember how
Yeah, they were all friends. Yeah, they were. She didn't like it.
Yeah, and she was Gretchen, upset about Lori.
Yeah, and Gretchen says that on one of her confessionals that she maybe she just tells Tamra. Yeah, Joe's kind of mad at us.
Yeah. She's probably mad, though, because it's like, well,
I want to be on TV.
Slade gets to get back on TV and not me. You should have dated me.
He weaseled himself back into the folds.
He always finds a way. More on that later. Okay, so let's talk about Jeana Keough, because sadly this is her last season.
Swan song.
Her swan song. Gina's realtor business has taken a huge hit because of the recession. She has to downsize, sell some of her 4 houses. And
some of them.
Of them. To make matters worse, her asshole alcoholic ex-husband got his second DUI and had to move back in with her while they finished finalizing the divorce.
Yikes.
So she makes the very mature decision that between that and Vicky also fired her as her realtor. Even though Gina's career is going so badly, she still fired her and said, fuck you. Yeah. And she doesn't like how the direction the show is going, where it's more about fighting. So she actually, it's such a responsible decision for her family and herself. I do think she was maybe fired and they're letting her go out gracefully. On her
she's
own
an
terms.
OG, and
she's an OG. I love the respect they gave the OGs, that they let them film a few episodes. They let us say goodbye to them.
Bow out gracefully. And, Gina's going to move from her 9,000 square foot home and downsize to a 5,000 square foot home. And she's not going to have $600 dinners up every 3 days.
Right. And buy her friends $400 lunches and shopping.
She's very sad.
But I think it turned out okay for Jeana.
She's fine.
She's fine, and her kids all turned out relatively normal. So good thing she got him off camera when she did.
Yeah, and you know what? Other ladies on the OC can't say that. So actually,
exactly,
a lot of them cannot.
A lot of them cannot. So in Jeana's place, we have new girl Alexis Bellino, who is a hot 32-year-old with 2 great sets of twins. And by that, I mean her boobs are the size of her toddlers' heads.
She loves God. She's a very Christian girl. That kind you do take home to mama.
Yes, which actually she's been friends with Gretchen for a year, and Gretchen is shocked to hear how much Alexis is talking about being a Christian and loving Jesus in their scenes and on camera, because Gretchen was like, really? With those jugs?
With those really? Jesus jugs? Yeah.
We never talked about it.
And Alexis has a lot going on. She's got these 3 kids. She's got these 2 boobs. She's got this 1 ass. That's her husband. And she's got 2 tan and gym and laundry.
She was a very early adopter of bar classes and Pilates. She was ahead of the curve on those, too.
And getting Botox at a young age.
27. Yeah, she really was a trendsetter in many female upkeep with, which is her job. Her job is, she and Jim have an agreement
She
where they
understood the
put
assignment. Yeah.
she God first, their marriage second, which means making sure that Alexis stays hot, and then kids third, which is, what's your order, Michele?
The kids.
The kids, and then that's it. That's
Probably
us.
the one kid. Probably no. Honestly, it's probably like Alexis's boobs are number one in my
Number one,
marriage.
number one, and number two.
Number one, number one, and number
right,
two, and then probably like number three is like, my podcast.
Right. I would say mine's, it's pretty high up there.
And
me.
I don't even do that much yet, but I think about it.
Oh, and yeah, we're going to do more.
I like my kid. I love her and my husband and our friendship. I don't know, but yeah. It's hard. It's hard, like, because Alexis's boobs are so high up for me. Everything else just kind of fizzles.
And they're physically high up. It's a great boob job. And she's tall. She can carry them well.
And her highlights are, you will never see roots on her head. She's getting her highlights done every 6 weeks. And her nails done.
This was before she started doing the skunk stripes. And she's just at peak, like, styling.
Peak princess. Yes.
Peak princess.
Pink princess.
So they also like do fun activities, like go to a cool young church where the minister is like, hey, put down your Starbucks and start looking up to the stars to thank the Lord.
Yes. And also the other cool fun stuff Alexis does is never leave her husband's side.
Yes.
They don't do things without each other.
They do not want to lure each other into temptation. Even though, as Gretchen points out, that's kind of at odds with what Gretchen calls Alexis's 2 big fishing lures that she has out all the time, which, hey, I mean, I don't think that makes someone less Christian or anything. No. But it is, they are judgmental of other people for, like, trying on lingerie on camera or stuff like that, but it's like, we can already pretty much, like, see,
or going on business trips without their significant other. But, like, I would never judge Alexis for
Jim.
That. I would judge her for her deplorable behavior.
Yes, exactly. But this was, of course, a very shamey time and shamey season. Vicky and Dawn have also made up, and they are trying to make it work, which means Vicky is avoiding him slightly less.
And inviting him to trips slightly more.
And Vicky has made a vow to try to be nicer on camera. I don't think she liked the backlash she got last season. This is a good season for her.
She really doesn't like Dawn.
But she does not like Dawn.
It's like awkward to see them like hug and like kiss, and she doesn't like him. Is this when she started cheating on him with Brooks? I was thinking that.
I think we need to figure out the timeline, like, because Brooks reached out to her and then was like, "I'm dying," and so then she was like, "Oh, it won't work," and then she started cheating. I think it was maybe next season, but but I think last season is when Brooks made contact. Yeah,
that's important.
That would be my guess.
When contact was made.
When contact, yes, first man on the moon. First contact between Brooks and Vicky.
One giant leap for Brooks.
So Vicky invites all the housewives to a weekend in Florida, a girls only trip.
Fort Lauderdale,
baby. Oh yeah, which Michele just came back from.
Our girls trip to Fort Lauderdale.
Did you go to any of the places they did? Like the restaurant and the boat? And the drive?
Yeah. No, I didn't go to any of those places. And if I did, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, it's not like Andalays where they're really marketing.
Iconic, yeah. And it's a dumb trip.
It's a dumb trip, and Vicky is upset because it was supposed to be girls only, but Tamra invites Simon, Alexis invites Jim, and then all the husbands get together and dunk on Dawn for Vicky not inviting him.
But it's like, it's a girls' trip. She's not wrong. Like, Vicky knew what needed to be done on girls' trips from the very beginning, which is like, it needs to just be the women interacting a lot with their weird husbands who are like, I've never been a day apart. Listen, Simon doesn't want to be there with Tamra, especially not this season. He's just showing up to not look like their marriage is completely falling apart. But it's really hard to do that when your wife is saying that on screen.
Not behind your back. We'll get into
not to you. Not to you. But then, Jim's like, I've never been away apart from my wife. I would never let her go on a trip without me, like unaccompanied minor. She's not a minor. But that's how he treats it. It's gross and weird. And they don't even seem like they're having fun.
Yeah. And Vicky is very upset about this, that she and Lynn will be the only single ladies there, especially because she gets so lonely and jealous. But so at the airport, she's like really quietly
Worked
she
up.
together well, but she's like trying not to lose it. Like steam is coming out of her ears.
Quietly
Everyone's
seething.
laughing. Like, yeah, so she spends the trip pretty much quietly steaming, especially when Slade shows up to surprise Gretchen.
So surprise Gretchen.
And Vicky has like done a pretty good job of like laying off Gretchen this season, like except for behind her back, but she hates Slade. This is the first season where she started gay rumors about someone she doesn't like, Slade, and she hates that they're together. I think Slade had already been talking shit about the Housewives in the press to, keep his 15 minutes going, and he's a vile misogynist.
Yes, and this is a feud that's going to continue.
Oh yeah, no end in sight, and it just gets grosser. So eventually, Vicky and Dawn go on their own little anniversary trip to Turks and Caicos.
He's so excited he got invited to a trip with Vicky.
Yes.
He's like, oh, I get to go on a trip. Like, it's like the way he acts that she's inviting him on their anniversary trip is like when you tell a 5-year-old, like, the first time that they're going to Disney World. Like, they're so excited. Like, oh, let's go. Like, yeah.
Yeah, he's so happy the whole time. It's so sweet. They drink rum punch. They eat conch, which looks like a wiener, and Vicky's delighted by it.
Yeah, well, she makes Dawn eat it because it's supposed to be like Viagra, but she won't eat it. And this is when we first see our Vicky do her little gagging thing that she does forever. So funny.
So many firsts.
And it's just the most insane trip in the world to me. It's one of the greats because, like many women and men, just everyone, when you have an anniversary, a lot of times you give your significant other a gift. And Vicky had a couple of gifts to give Donnie boy.
So the first gift was that she surprised Dawn with the beginning of a curse. The beginning of a curse which will resound and haunt the Housewives kingdom, as well as especially the franchise.
Yes.
Which is the curse of the vow renewal. Now, if you don't know, the curse of the
Dun.
the curse of the vow renewal means that if you do a vow renewal on camera because your marriage is in trouble, the next season you will get divorced. And there are no exceptions.
And now we said it.
It's
like from the 10 Commandments.
Yes.
And so it is written. And whatever.
I decree a plague of vow renewals.
In their houses. I can't quote the 10 Commandments. Fucking Charlton Heston. Anyway, her second surprise.
Okay, so they do their
vows. The way that she sets it up.
Yeah, so Dawn's vows are so sweet.
No, the way that she tells him, like, I'm surprised. Okay, so at dinner, so he gets the first gift from Vicky, which is like a photo album of when they first got together, and it's pictures like when the kids are really young. And the way that Dawn reacts to that is so sweet. He immediately starts crying, and he looks at Vicky and he goes, "My kids."
Yeah.
And it was so sweet. And then Vicky's like, and then she goes, "Would you marry me all over again?" And he's like, "Yeah, I would. And then she goes, "Okay, good, because I have another surprise for you." And he goes, "Okay." And she goes, we're getting married tomorrow." And he goes, "Okay, what?" And she goes, I planned the whole thing. I planned a wedding for tomorrow." And he goes, You planned a wedding?" She's like, "I planned a whole wedding." And he goes, "You planned a whole wedding?" And she goes, "Yeah, we're going to renew our vows tomorrow." And he goes, "Okay, great."
It's so funny.
I planned a whole wedding?
Like,
the whole wedding?
Vicky on this trip, it's like such a different side of Vicky. It's like her, she's very
She's trying
demure,
to
very
be, she's
mindful.
trying to be like coquettish, but
Yes,
it's
she's like,
not. Oh, it's I played a whole wedding done.
but it's all about like her on-camera surprises and nothing about like actually connecting with Dawn, who is so in love with her, who's so excited about this new phase they're stepping into. He describes it in his vows. He's like, it's only gonna get better with us, and like, yeah, we just have to put the work in. It's gonna be different without the kids, but it's you and me, baby. To which Vicky replies, Dawn, when we got married, we didn't have much money, so we decided not to get new wedding rings. So I made you this ring. I designed this ring with Jenna Scott. It has 100 diamonds, and this will be your new wedding ring, and that's all for my vows. And Dawn goes, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then she goes, it's a carat and a half. And they're like, you make this your bride. And he goes, it's a carat and a half. And then they walk off into the sunset.
Vicky will always be famous.
I know. We'll make sure that we'll just make sure she's always famous.
Someone who is not famous anymore. She lost the privilege is Gretchen. Gretchen had a little bit of a wild, traumatic summer after Jeff died. She, was drinking a lot and like trying to escape her grief, and her revenge porn of her was leaked. Her nudes were leaked.
I don't love that either.
I hate it, and I especially hate how Tamra is just like orgasming with glee. She's about like, this.
You have dildos up your ass, and everybody knows it, and everybody's seen it. It's like, I've never seen it, and I don't know it.
Yeah, I'm glad that they got them off, it seems like, but apparently it was like in magazines.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm glad that Tamra got off, but like no, I'm glad it seems like it's been scrubbed, like, because it is a crime.
It is a crime.
And Gretchen, I would say, she does a good job standing up for herself, and is
she shouldn't be shamed for this.
No, she's like, this is something someone did to me, even though the ladies continuously make her feel terrible about it.
Yeah.
So Tamra is not letting Gretchen hear the end of it. They're still fighting because Tamra thinks Gretchen, like, everyone hates Tamra because Gretchen is lying about cheating on Jeff, and it's like, no, everyone just thinks you're a fucking bitch. Like, we don't care if she admits that she cheated on her dead fiance. We don't give a shit. That's what Gina keeps trying to say in like the few episodes she's on. She's like, who gives a shit? You're so mean. But Tamra will not let it die. Finally, because they've got to film together, she, does like a half apology and is like, but only if you take the mean stuff off of your blog so people will be nice to me again. To Gretchen's credit, I don't think she does. So Gretchen was getting torn apart. Gretchen needed an ally in this game. She needed someone who was a bitch, who was petty, who was a misogynist, could be really mean about women. She needed a dragon. She needed a defender. So she brought in Slade Smiley.
The dragon.
The dragon.
The boy with the dragon tattoo.
Boy with the dragon tattoo. And he protects Vicky. He
protects Gretchen
and her upcoming feud
by not having a job.
They're always talking about like how we're so broke.
Jeff didn't leave me, and you'd think that Jeff would have left me millions of dollars, but he didn't.
He did, actually. He left her $2.5 million, but he was in debt for $3 million. So it's like she inherited his debt. I don't know if it works like that.
I know that because they weren't legally married, but yeah.
Yeah. So rough stuff for Gretch. And also Slade doesn't have a job, and later we'll find out why. We'll find out why through Lynn. Okay, I know you didn't like Lynn last season, but you gotta admit, she is funny this season. Unintentionally.
I guess so. I mean, it's just like, it's so crazy. I guess because like going back, it's like, it's hard to watch girls that I don't think are top tier. They're just there.
I think she's kind of, I do think she's top tier camp. I think she's so funny. Like, so it's like they're broke now because of the recession.
And I'm always concerned with those daughters of hers.
Well, that is deeply concerning. That's fair. So they're living off of the money from Lynn's leather cuff business, leather cuff jewelry, which, wow, they must not be doing well if that's their main income.
No.
Yet she gets a facelift during the season. It's like, I think the only facelift we've seen from a housewife on camera it's like, why wouldn't you get it before? Also, even no money, it's crazy.
And her daughter gets a nose job at the same time, at the same I almost said restaurant, at the same doctor's office, surgeon's office. So the husband, Lynn's husband, and like this girl's dad, like are just like, he's waiting for his wife and daughter to get out his major surgery, elective.
Which also it's like it's very disturbing the way that Lynn parents, where it's like she refuses to talk to her daughters about anything, and like one of her daughters has serious body dysmorphia and self-esteem issues, who thinks that like the other daughter's so much prettier and that Lynn is so much prettier, and instead of like talking her through that and helping her deal with that, Lynn buys her a nose job. Like, it's just
a nose job. Lets her go on a shopping spree with Gretchen.
Yeah, well, that's
without Lynn being there, by the way. It's not like Lynn and Gretchen.
Well, that I do not blame Lynn for. I do think that was kind of Gretchen. I do want to say just though, Lynn's recovery from the facelift is so funny, where it's like the rest of the season she can't emote through her face at all because she's scared her face will fall off. And whenever she's like in a scene, she's like, "Is my face falling off right now?" To her cast members.
It's like, no, you're not a burn victim.
And like when she's resting, I found that so relatable. When she's just resting like this, no smile, no movement on her face,
resting bitch face.
So I did find that all. So the only when she's upset, all she can do is go like this. So
slow blinks.
She's like, "I'm so upset right now."
She has to like talk in like Morse code by like blinking.
Like, so another bad parenting move Lynn does is that instead of talking to her daughter about her issues, she sends in this like random woman. She's like, "Oh, come talk to her." She wrote a book about being a kid, so just talk to her.
Talk to her on the balcony. I'm not going to be here for that.
And then like the lady's like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" And Raquel's like, "Oh, I guess if I could be anything for my career, I would be an artist because I doodle and stuff." And the lady's like, "Okay, draw." Like tough stuff. Doodle.
Somebody get this 19-year-old girl a martini already.
Yeah, well, Lynn is constantly talking to them on camera about don't drink, and then lets them drink on camera, basically.
Very openly on camera. Yeah, I mean, it's like very funny. I mean, it's underage drinking. It's not all that funny, but
just
the way that these...
Yeah.
Well, it's just like her daughter's just going up to the bar and being like, "I'll have like a Cosmo." Like they're just,
not even like a wine cooler.
Well, and like honestly, it's like we see the bartender, like people serving them drinks. It's like that they wouldn't be illegal to serve alcohol. Like this is laws are being broken here, and also like Bravo, like the liability of like child endangerment, like allowing underage people to be drinking on camera very openly.
It was the era of Gossip Girl. All wheels
so
were
funny.
off.
It was
Lower
so funny.
East Siders, 17-year-olds going
not,
clubs.
They're not like drinking 40s and like, for logos. No, they're getting like martinis and
smoking a pack of like Capris. Like it's crazy. And it's just because Lynn is so scared to stand up to them or talk to them about anything.
Yeah, she's like, "Fine, crash your car. I don't want to get involved."
Yes. She just has like no boundaries. And speaking of no boundaries, Gretchen overhears that Alexa was telling her mom, Lynn, that she was depressed. And so Gretchen goes behind Lynn's back and invites Alexa to do a scene with her, to do a storyline with her about Gretchen being someone she can talk to since she can't talk to her mom and her mom doesn't talk to her enough. She takes her shopping and Alexa actually does immediately break down and is like, she turns the music up. She won't talk to me. And Gretchen's like, "It's okay. You're going to be okay. Let's shop." And then a classic teenager. Teenagers are so manipulative. Lynn let them go with way too much and they were monsters. Alexa goes straight to Lynn and said, "Can you believe what Gretchen did? I thought she was so weird. She was being so weird. She invited me to talk about you being a bad mom." Like Alexa is like Regina Georging both of these adult women.
And then she's like, she cries to Gretchen and Gretchen's like, whoa,
I wasn't expecting this storyline to actually go somewhere.
Even though I knew about your depression and that's kind of why I invited you on this trip. And she's like, and she's like, "All right, girl, let's finish shopping." And then
So she's just like Lynn, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
Gretchen is terrible for doing. It's like, this is a kid. Why are you doing this on camera? She's
Mm.
not your niece. You're not related to her. You're not even
Yeah.
really friends with Lynn. Like,
Yeah,
you're
it's
basically
so
kidnapping
random.
her
Yeah.
and like forcing her to do an unpaid scene with you.
Yeah.
And also, like, you are not. You don't know anything about parenting either. Like, you just had a fiance who had children. Like, that's the extent of it
Yeah.
for you. It's
Yeah.
bizarre for you to get involved. But also, Lynn, you're a bad mom too. I don't like to say that a lot on Bravo, but like, you're not a good mom.
No, but you're a fun mom.
But you're not a regular mom. You're a cool
You're a
mom.
cool mom.
A cool mom with a motionless face. So Alexa and Lynn are talking shit about Gretchen while they're working out, and Lynn is like just working out motionlessly. I can't believe she did that. She went way too far. I wait till she's the parent. Is my face falling off?
Is my face falling off? It's like, no, Lynn, you would feel it.
You would feel it.
You'd see it.
That's not
melting
a danger.
off of your head.
Yeah. But she.
Oh my god, it's like that movie Face Off. Remember the movie?
Oh yeah.
Face Off with Nick
Face
Cage
Off.
and
Nicole.
John Travolta.
Nicole. I said Nick Cage and Nicole Cage. Sorry, my bad. Nicole Kidman.
Paging Nicole Cage.
So then Lynn is like talking shit to Gretchen and is like, I just can't wait till you're a parent. Like, you have no idea what it's like. You have no idea weighing in. Also, didn't you just have your nudes leaked, you slut? And Gretchen is upset. Of course, she doesn't fight back because that's just kind of not her thing. So instead, she invites her dragon and defender, Slade, the biggest bitch of all, to dinner. And they all have like a weird, awkward dinner party with Lynn and her husbands. And Slade just tears into Lynn and is like, look, this is what he acts like. He and Gretchen are also Alexa's parents. He's like, look, we're just looking at what's in the best interest for Alexa. That's why we felt it was important we step in, because look, you're not doing anything, Lynn. You're just like sitting on your ass. And like Lynn, like he scares Lynn and Lynn can't fight back. He's tearing her a new asshole about her parenting, about how he cares about her daughter more than her. And we just cut to Lynn in confessional motionless. Like, how dare he say that? He doesn't pay his child support, but she cannot do it in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you're saying she's not top tier. She cannot handle conflict.
She'll never be top tier to me.
Yeah. But I do think she's humorous. I think she's comic relief. So this is how we first find out that the reason Slade doesn't have a job is because he would have to pay his child support.
Oh god.
If he had a job.
Don't get a job. Never get a job, Slade.
And he never does.
He never does.
Spoiler alert, 20 years later.
He never does.
Still has not.
Child support is expensive. These kids need a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and it's crazy, especially the amount of money you see him and Gretchen spending later.
And
the
she's
lengths
driving
he
the
goes
Range
to avoid like being, having taxable income, how sick his child is. It all gets really dark.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like Gretchen is already this deep in. He also helps her
But they're in love.
But they're in love, and they throw a Tupperware party. The only person from the cast they invite is Alexis. It's a bunch of other randos. Actually, like the drag queen that did the Tupperware party, I slay. Like when they have murder mysteries on Bravo or like drag queen parties or something, it's like it's more we don't really
more
see them do
Tupperware
comedy
parties.
Yeah, it's so random, it's disjointed, but this Tupperware gal
That's what
came
I'm
in
saying.
prepared.
We need to have more Tupperware parties, less murder mysteries, more drag queens.
More drag queens, 100%. I
Always
agree.
with the drag queens.
And it's very funny. Alexis says it's very funny to see Jim here at this party because he really hates, and so she's thinking gay people, and she goes, Tupperware. Jim just really hates Tupperware.
Yeah, she couldn't say like he really hates like fake boobs or anything like that because the man loves them.
Yep. And then Alexis, like, we don't even get coverage. It happens so fast. Suddenly we see Alexis in a throwdown, like Bad Girls Club style, with a girl who she thought was hitting on Jim while Jim is like eating cake off of a plate. She's like, you can't have my husband. Like, and the girl's like,
No.
What? I promise you, no. Like,
absolutely not. He's asking me to mix his horseradish.
yes.
Which is the scene that I talk about a lot with Lauren the last 2 days.
Yes.
I find it so upsetting.
Yes. Yeah, you can explain it.
So Alexis and her husband Jim go to dinner for just no particular reason, really, which is fine. Keep the spark alive. Also, I don't like the scene at the dinner scene because Alexis talks about how like restrictive she is with her eating,
Yes.
and it's hard to hear that with somebody who has gone through something similar.
Right.
But so Jim orders for himself like a large seafood tower, and Alexis is just drinking. And then she's like, "Oh, maybe I'll like have a bite." Like I think she's like half a shrimp, but
shrimp are lean protein.
There's a lot of cholesterol in them, but who's counting? Anyway, so she takes like his cocktail sauce and knows like it needs more horseradish. She tells the waiter that they bring horseradish and she just like mixes it for him, like concocts like the exact like measurements of like cocktail sauce to like horseradish this man needs so he can like enjoy his entire seafood tower to himself. And while smoking a cigar and being dismissive of his wife. Like he's asking her like in a very condescending way about like how hard her life is because she has to get her hair done and her nails done. And by the way, he's the one who doesn't want her to have a job. He's the one who wants her to be a kept woman. He's the one who wants her to be submissive and not do anything. So why are you shitting while you're eating a seafood tower and smoking a cigar? Which, by the way, he does this a lot on the show. Smoke cigars, fine, that's fine. You're not Tony Soprano, number one. Number two, you never seem to be able to light it.
Yeah,
you can't light a cigar.
He's not like Todd. He's not like Todd or the Housewives on Miami, where they just can naturally light like a cigarette. It takes him like an hour to like turn around.
Disgusting.
Yeah, he's basically like her fourth child. That's why he comes before the children, because he's like, I'm the number one child, and then there's the rest.
He's so awful.
A trend just that we constantly see in the show is women who don't realize how much better they can do. Like, even though some of these women can be awful at times, the men they're with are so like, they're so out of their league, these women.
Well, that and also like Jim is just so heinous to me because I mean, obviously his wife is like a trophy wife and she is so much hotter and whatever, but like I don't think like Jim doesn't even make her to feel pretty. No. You know what I'm saying? Like he so dismisses
insecure.
her. Yeah, he dismisses her all of the time, and then he's like shitty to her, but won't let her out of his sight, and like she's not free to do fucking anything.
It's such a specific type of man
it's
on the Orange County where it's like
sometimes.
These women.
I just don't like Jim.
Yeah, but he is similar, I think, also to Slate. He's similar to like so many of the men they date, or Brooks, where it's like the men don't even care about these women at all. They just use being on camera as a way to make themselves seem macho men, to make them seem rich, to get more business opportunities. They don't have respect for the art of reality TV. All they care about is their image with them. And it's like, oh, you guys have to find good scene partners.
And they're like sucking off the image like of their wife or their significant other, like what John Jansen did with Shannon and now is doing with Alexis. But anyway, we're going to call this segment of shitty men going forward. I think we should call it According to Jim.
According to Jim. I love it.
According to Jim.
According to Jim.
According to Jim.
He's a real according to Jim.
God is number one, Alexis's boobs are number two, and I've never met my children.
Yes.
How do I light a cigar? Can you mix my horseradish into this cocktail sauce so I can enjoy this beautiful seafood tower by myself?
Right, the most depressing sitcom of all time.
I feel like if I told my husband, if I talked openly about my restrictive eating, I have, but if I wasn't ordering anything at dinner and my husband was like ordering like this seafood tower or whatever, like he would say something. He'd be like, you need to eat. This is stupid. You're skinny. You're insane. I don't want you to be doing this. Like, that's how little he thinks about Alexis. Like, we're like, this is actually really unhealthy, you know, that like, she's like, just not like skipping entire meals like that is really bad. And he doesn't seem to care.
I do wonder if it got worse when she got cast on the Housewives, the eating disorder, their relationship being godly and submissive and everything, because it was like
the judgment that
he kind of manipulated her into being like, well, that's what you want to portray. Like she says she wants to go, like her first talking head is she's like, I can't wait to be a housewife so that I can change the world and show people about all these wonderful things.
Like, you're not like Miss America.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't love it.
I don't love it. But let's talk about a couple that
We do love.
well, I don't know. We don't love them either, but where we can't figure out if Simon is according to Jim or not, Tamra and Simon. So yeah, it was interesting watching this. Someone also commented this on our TikTok too, and it's something I've been thinking about a while. Where I'm like, you know, Tamra really bashes Simon all through the later seasons, calls him a narcissist, abusive, and I'm like, oh, do we get to see that on camera? Not to say that that doesn't make him abusive, because any abusive men I've dated have been excellent at hiding it.
Great on social media.
Great on social media, or like just, you know, kind of hide from
with
everyone
other people,
and just
yeah.
be mean to their their mean. So it definitely is possible, but it's like sometimes, like, I will say this season, what Tamra is saying about his behavior and the marriage is not adding up to what he's saying, and they're disagreeing about it. Like, he'll be like, well, you know, I just do whatever you tell me to, and she like will be under her breath like, yeah,
no, you
right. No, you don't.
And also, we're
you
poor.
Tell me what to do.
Yeah. So this is the other thing. It's like, okay, Simon, we find out like last season is like left his job to like be with this tequila company, and you know,
which makes me
whatever.
think
they don't even ever do. They ever even say the name of the company?
I don't think so. But it also makes me think that like he
probably
wants her to work. Yeah, it could be that. But it's like, if he's doing tequila company, it's like, he wants
she goes
her
back
to work.
to work.
But then he says she doesn't want me to work. He just wants me to be a housewife. It's like, you mean like a housewife on the show? Because he wouldn't have left his job if you weren't working. You know, it just things are not adding up.
It's all very confusing. Yeah, no, it's not adding up. But they are having to downsize. Like, they're gonna have to move into a rental home, and she's like looking for a place for them, like a new house, and she's just like so disgusted by like what's in their price point. Yeah, and like they're gonna have to like leave their like mansion, and you know, it's like, in the same thing, Simon is still like always at odds with Ryan, I said Shannon, Tamra's oldest son. It's just heavy
because well, yeah, and it's like Tamra again is in the middle of it, and like, I can't believe the way that
but he won't apologize. Ryan won't apologize
his car for wrecking Simon's car,
and Simon's like, I just wanted to apologize to me, and like Ryan's like, no, he's like, I'll tell you sorry, but he's like, you need to like, and he also posted something really like egregious about Ryan on Facebook, and a lot of people saw it, and they're public figures at this point. He's like, post on Facebook that like, you're sorry for saying this, so people like stop harassing me, which is not a huge ask, and Ryan doesn't want to do it,
and Tamra takes Ryan's side more,
and it's like, that's her son, but he's also like, he's not like your 5-year-old son, he's your like 23-year-old unemployed son who's living with your mother.
Are you kidding, Michelle? He got kicked out at such a young age of 18 because of Simon.
But also, I think like, I part of me wonders if like Tamra's like, I don't want to be poor again, like how I was poor before we married, and I don't want to like live in a condo with a stripper like I used to have to. So
I think that's a lot of it, and I think part of it too is Simon is not magnetic or compelling on camera. He doesn't seem to enjoy being on camera. Slate is like, oh, Simon loves it. Simon's the sixth housewife. I'm like, really? Simon does not seem happy to be there.
Simon says absolutely nothing.
Simon says,
according to Jim, and Simon
backwards off camera.
Simon says, apologize to me, Ryan.
Yeah. So, and that's what's interesting, is we hear so much about about Simon's controlling behavior, but the only controlling behavior we really have she can name is that Simon wants Ryan to apologize and be an adult, and made Ryan leave the house if he wasn't going to get a job or go to school at 18.
Yeah, which is not it's not a heinous thing to do. Like, this is actually like good parenting, where it's like, you're an adult, you need to grow up, and I'm not going to support you if you're not doing X, Y, and Z. Like, you need to be making efforts here, and you're not doing any of it, and you're freeloading off of me.
Simon says what Lynn can't say.
Which is healthy boundaries are not a bad thing.
And then Simon also, the thing that's controlling is, which this is maybe a little controlling, but Vicky is constantly talking shit about Simon to Tamra on camera, and how like she doesn't like him, how Tamra shouldn't be with him, and she said some mean stuff about Tamra as well. And Simon's like, I think you need to evaluate, and you've changed, you've been like so like mad at me since you started. I think that it's maybe a toxic friendship for you. I really don't want this to keep hurting you. And that's when you can see it really click for Tamra. Like,
she's like, ooh,
we're getting a divorce.
And then Tamra's like, Oh, crying to her mom at a fondue restaurant in the middle of
Oh
the
my gosh,
day.
the way they tease this is so funny because it is so out of nowhere. Where it's like, they were just doing a scene talking about stuff, like about updates about Ryan, and Tamra, she asks about like, her dad, like, what was it like when you guys divorced? And she's like, oh, her mom's like, oh, I just knew. And then Tamra goes, we're getting a divorce. And her mom goes, oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah. And she's like,
What?
you have to, she's like, if you're in love with somebody, you have to work at it all of the
Yes.
time. And like,
And
that
that's
is
what
true.
really makes her break.
And
Yeah,
then
no.
Tamara really starts sobbing after her mom tells her,
I don't
like,
want to work.
you have to work at your marriage. She's like, I thought when I was with Simon, I wasn't going to have to work in any capacity.
Yeah. But then she flips it where she's like, and yeah, I don't want to work, but he just wants a housewife. He hates that I work. And the mom's like, okay, I'm having trouble following.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
what
figure
is
it
going
out.
on? Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I'm also equally as confused about Simon's tequila involvement. So
That's true. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be too pleased about that if Cam quit his job and,
oh
founded a tequila
yeah, no,
company.
I would be like, excuse me. Also, if our husbands did that, we would be concerned for several reasons.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
We'd be like, where'd you
I'd be
get the
like,
capital for that?
yeah, and you don't even drink. Like, it would just be
Yeah,
bizarre and all
that would be really out of left field for Cam. Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
drink at all.
Tamra also has a bunko party.
Oh my
And
God,
the
I
way she
hated it.
explains bunko, I've
Bunko,
never
these
heard someone explain something worse.
Yeah,
She's like, the
these
four is
are
the
not.
five, and the five is a drink, and the drink if you get two, and then that's a bunko, and if you
These are
bunko, you drink.
these are like bunko rules from like another planet. Like they're
Yes.
not from the planet Earth, and like everyone's dressed up in wigs. Like, okay, and here's the thing that I noticed. Okay, so everyone has to dress up for why are they having to wear wigs and stuff? I don't really know, but you know what the wigs reminded me of, and actually Tamara reminds me of. It's giving Britney Breakdown '09. When Britney was like going through it, she was wearing the pink wig all the time and not
Yes.
making a ton of sense, and like, was doing the like fake British accent. Tamara's not doing a British accent, but she's giving me a little Britney down
break.
bad.
Yeah, it was in the
She's giving me a little.
zeitgeist.
She's giving me a little Britney Breakdown. Yes.
This is how you communicate, because she's kind of like playing a woman in crisis this season. And Tamara's very, she's very method, and she's like, okay, let's look at the greats. How did Britney do it? Let me do that. Let me pop a pink wig on.
Simon is Kevin Federline.
Yes.
He's poor, he's poor, and I gotta go.
So another party we have, and another first we have, is Vicky invites a psychic over for a slumber party, just girls this time. And this is our first ever psychic. And again, this psychic, I think, was great. Much better than many of the psychics to come. Was a fan of the show. He got his little joke in. Are you the psychic or me? Why don't people, everyone, if you're going to be on the show, come with a joke. Come with a joke. This is like just performing 101.
Like a good joke, not a bad joke.
Not a bad joke. Yeah. And
take a class at Groundlings.
Take a class at Groundlings. Watch the whole show so you know how to know things about them, but not be too obvious. Like
learn how to do a pratfall. Like let's learn some physical comedy.
Yeah, definitely. Have a few drinks if you drink. It just loosen you up. I know you're working, but it's the environment. It'll make them more comfortable. But yeah, this psychic is great. It's the first psychic. Also, I think this is where Tamra realized, psychics can push storylines, which is very important for later. The psychic pushes her storyline that people shouldn't hate her. He basically justifies her, vindicates her. He's like, it's good that you speak the truth. At least I know where I stand with you. So that's what's good about people who go bullshit. She's like,
I like that.
He thinks that I'm like the prettiest and the best. She's such a child sometimes.
I love it though.
Sometimes. And speaking of child, they go TP Gina's house.
Yeah, like Gina's not going through enough. She has to put her house on the market, you bitches.
Yeah, I'm not too shenanigan-y for my taste. Did you ever toilet paper houses?
No. First of all, I'm like 5 feet tall. Like I could never.
That was my issue.
Trees are very big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, it's so mean to do.
It's annoying.
Like, number one, it's like this isn't like it's like okay, your friend lives there, but it's like their parents' home.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't care to like I don't like property destruction. Like I never got that. Like I don't like it. It's
I was
just
only allowed to
mean.
do it when it was consensual, which kind of like, and then you clean it up the next day, but that
like,
kind of
how do
takes
you
the
get
fun
it?
out
How
of
do you
it.
clean it up? Like, you have to get on ladders and stuff,
No,
don't you?
like, you can get like a broom usually, and usually it's like, I think people I was doing with like my one friend who's a theater kid, so we couldn't even get it up there. We would just like kind of like leave
I
a
would just
couple of
like
pieces
leave
on the
like
lawn. Like,
I would just like leave like unopened packages of toilet paper and just like write like on the plastic wrapping like bitch,
yeah, there you go.
bitch.
Here's your insult, but also a convenience for you.
It's one ply.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I'd still use it. I'm nasty like that.
I know you would. Oh God, that is nasty, Lauren, because your poops and stuff, they're bad.
Well, we've got a bidet, so it's like I can get some extra help there.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wipe and then bidet? Is that how it works? Otherwise, then you would just have like wet ass, and like I feel like the paper
Cam does
disintegrates.
that. Well, Cam doesn't wipe. I think he just bidets. But I wipe and
What
then
does he do
bidet.
if he's like at a public restaurant and we're like,
he brings wipes everywhere. Dude wipes.
you're not supposed to flush those?
He doesn't flush it. You throw it away.
Okay. Does he bring them to my house?
Probably.
We have
but
we
I
already have dude wipes at my home.
And I'm the one shitting at your house.
I know. And Lauren only shits in my daughter's bathroom.
Yep.
Where there's like a tiny toilet seat.
It's good.
But
It works
you can
kind of
lift
like
it
a
up.
squatty
But
potty.
But you do lift it, right? To like have the adult size.
Oh yeah. With my shits,
anyway.
It's like, yeah, I definitely need the big hole to. Okay. We can people hate shit, so I don't know. Maybe we'll leave it. Okay, and that's the first half of the season. I'm excited to not excited for the next half. Should be fun. Divorce. We got divorce we're looking forward to. We got
divorce work with
more feuding.
Yes.
Yep. So tune
and
in.
More Vicky not getting her love tank filled all the way to the brim.
Yes.
By Dawn.
Will she be able to manage this coquettish, calm demure while simmering underneath? Only time will tell. Tune in
and her
next
loins
week.
burning for another.
Yes. Will people end up becoming homeless because of the horrible recession?
Won't they or won't they?
Won't they? Will they? Won't they?
Won't they?
Will Lynn's face melt off finally?
To be continued.
To be continued. What grade would you give this season, Michele?
Ooh, I'm gonna give it a B+.
B+? I think I would too. Yeah, the first half for sure.
Yeah.
I would say the theme of this season is girls down bad. Everybody's down bad.
Everyone's down bad. Nobody likes a poor princess.
Nope. Ready for the economy to boom again.
Bounce back, baby.
And it
Republicans, bounce back. Thanks, bail us out.
Yes.
Thank
you. All right, we end every episode with an oral exam. That is a 1-minute essay on a pop culture topic of your choice. Michele, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I love when
I really don't know what I'm doing.
It's the most exciting for me. Okay, I love when you're impromptu. All right, this is Michele Baber's final exam. Oral. This is Michele Baber's oral exam. Final oral of her life. She's married, so this is the last one.
This is the last oral.
Her time starts now. In
this essay, I will prove that J-Lo is like very funny right now. Okay, she's like being ridiculous about this like not divorce. Okay, so the other day it was Ben Affleck's birthday and his people released to people. By the way, if anything you see is like released to people magazine, it is true and it's coming from their publicist that he had a very small gathering with his closest, most important people in his life. But Jennifer Lopez had a huge, like, big party for her birthday in the Hamptons with like
Bridgerton
theme. Okay, so on the day of his birthday, she goes to a Bruno Mars concert, and a fan records her singing at the top of her lungs to his song "Marry Me." Anyway, that's all. She's just being that bitch right now with this divorce. And I think it's very funny what she's doing. Like, she's not hiding. She doesn't seem to care. Like, I think she's just really over his shit at this point.
Have they even filed? Is it all just rumors still?
Yeah, it's still rumors. That's the other thing that's very confounding. And I actually I don't know why they have not filed yet. Apparently it's to protect her, but I don't think she cares. She's also like, she's coming out on top because he looks like an asshole, but also she's been going and hanging out with Jennifer Garner, and all of their kids hang out together. And she picked up her stepson the other day, dropped off one of her kids at Jennifer Garner's house, picked up her stepson. They went like shopping, and
This is so smart. This is such
I
a
want
good
the
PR
Jennifers
move.
getting together. Yes,
girl power booming is like the way right now. Nothing trends like that. No one, like, we support it the most. Girls rule, boys drool. That is a great PR.
I want like the Jennifers to combine.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, well then now I've got 2 ideas.
Is it about Ben Affleck and how he's a good guy?
One is, but not about how he's a good guy. Okay.
Oh, do that.
I'll do that one. Okay. In this essay, I will prove, of all of the Blake Lively, it ends with us confounding stuff we've seen, how tone deaf she is. Of course, like, I already knew about the racist blog, the plantation wedding. None of it was a huge surprise for me. And also that, like, she's a bad actor in interviews. It makes sense. She's a bad actor in real life. The biggest epiphany I found out reading comments was that, unrelated, in a post about this, someone said that Ben Affleck, when Blake Lively's nudes famously leaked from the trailer in the town where she was wearing the costume on the set, Jennifer Garner came to set. She was like, I'm
stopping this shit right now.
Oh my God! But also she's so like
Jennifer Garner put up
like
with.
that she put up with. Yeah. It's like I can't even really imagine her coming in hot. I think
like
she was
making
just
her
like
kids like applesauce.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like I imagine her coming in like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Sorry.
Yes. Oh my God! If you ever get a chance, you need to read
really
her interview. Yeah. Oh, that Jennifer Garner was like, well, she knew Ben.
She did know
his dirty dealings. Apparently, the catalyst, like the final like reason for the divorce from J-Lo with Ben was that she came out with that crazy movie, remember, like in February, about he's like, it's the love of my life. She talked about all of the love letters that she had kept from him over the years. He was very pissed off she talked about that because a lot of them were written during his marriage to Jennifer Garner.
Damn.
Yes, like he was still holding a torch for her that whole time.
That's crazy.
I know. This is like a fucked up situation.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
But the best thing to come out of it is
it's a friendship with the girls.
Gen power.
Gen Z.
Gen Z, especially just optics wise, they
look so much better.
Opposite of the it ends with us marketing. Okay, this is brilliant marketing.
I didn't know that Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck made a movie together, like another one that's supposed to be coming out, I think in like September. She like plays like an amputee's mom or something, and he's like a producer. It's like his production company with Matt Damon. I think Matt Damon also stars in it, so they have to do press really soon. So I'm wondering if like that's why they have not filed. But I also think like they're gonna have to do press on it, and every question's gonna be like, why aren't you doing press with your wife?
That's the best. But honestly, they probably now, especially after it ends with us, is having this disastrous. But it also is doing
so well at the box office.
I think they're gonna ride that out. I really think that they are learning from. They're learning
from the Lively bunch.
J-Lo, everybody's laughing at her at how bad she was at marketing, but she figured it out.
She figured it out on top. The other hilarious thing that she did on Instagram was, like that meme that was on TikTok of her, like, an orange drink, and people are like, you've never been to a bodega. She was talking about her bodega order. So she has like an alcohol company. I don't know. Everyone does. And she's chugging this like wine, this orange wine or whatever the hell it is out of like the bottle. And she's like, it's an orange drink. If you know, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so she's like she's finally leaning in. She's finally laughing about it. Oh, man.
It's the Jennifer Garner effect.
That's funny. Yeah, the Garner effect, being self-deprecating.
The Garner effect.
That's J-Lo. See, that's why I have less hope for Blake Lively, because she and Ryan Reynolds, I don't think they really listen to their teams, or same with Taylor, they do what they want to do, and they have yes men.
Yeah.
J-Lo, she listens. She can follow instructions.
And here's the thing, is like, even though people find her very off-putting, she'll always be famous, and she's always been famous.
Yes, she will always be famous.
She will always be famous.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we never heard of Blake Lively again.
I never want to hear from her ever again.
Yeah.
I like your little bump.
I like your... Yeah.
Your little bump.
Your little bump. I do think that was her kind of like trying to be
Would be like, don't talk about my body. But
Yeah,
she
but
was
not
8 months pregnant and had announced it and had been talking about it in press.
Yes, but I do think it's like a lot of the times she's off-putting, it's because she thinks she's being Ryan.
Being like a girl
She's
boss.
like, I'm being so funny right now, but nothing clever comes to her mind, and she ends up saying all of the lyrics to My House.
Oh my God, you know what?
Why is no one talking about that?
She's Alexis Bellino from
She's
season
Alexis.
5, and
she's
Ryan
Alexis.
Reynolds is
Jim.
Jim.
According to Ryan.
Jim.
According to Jim. We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe.
Bye.
We did it, Jim.
We did it, Jim. We love you. Follow
Bye.
us. Bye.
Follow us. Okay. What are we gonna name it?